I'm God. I'm so excited.
Joshua, you ready?
I'm ready.
It's all yours.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Community Cooking with the co-op with Jamar. I'm Joshua. I work at the Coos Bay Library with Paul, who's a librarian there, Coos Bay Library, and we're joined tonight with Alan at the camera and Jamar, who's cooking. Yeah.
There he is. Hey, Alan.
I see
Hello, everyone.
I see a lot of new faces tonight, and quite a few of you are cooking along, which is awesome. If you have any questions or you need us to slow down a little bit, I think Jamar is very okay with that. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat or just let us know, respectfully unmute. And yeah, let's get this going. Yes.
Woohoo!
All right, take it away, Jamar.
Oh, okay. Okay, as long as I got that over with at the beginning. Good night. So my name is Jamar. I'm the outreach coordinator here at Coos Bay Food Co-op. And tonight we are making potato, leek, and mushroom soup. So when I was coming up with this recipe, it's a classic and it's done so many different ways. But when I was coming, it had to be a really cold day because anytime it's cold out here, it's like, okay, I want some soup. I'm going home. I'm grabbing potatoes, carrots, celery, something, and I'm going home and I'm making soup. So, oh, wait 1 second. Oh.
Where'd you go?
I'm right here. Sorry. This is a live kitchen. I don't know if anybody ever follows a recipe and they're like, oh, wait, I forgot this or I forgot, Here we can improvise, and the cool thing about this recipe is that you get to make it your own, So first we're gonna start out with our pot. In the recipe it says that you have a pot that has a lid. So first we're gonna pull that out, put that on the stove, and we're gonna start prepping our leeks. Because first, what we're gonna do is saute the leeks, and it's basically like a one pot soup, almost. I pull the leeks out, and then we'll see. We'll see. So first, let's go ahead and start prepping our leeks. So, and I have a bowl to the side because stuff either ends up in compost or ends up becoming stock. And so I have a stock pot full of leeks, garlic shavings, anything that's not making it in that bowl is going into my stock pot. So the leeks are very big. It can be very intimidating. So what I do is yes.
Avocado?
Yeah. The word is avocado. Okay. So,
Word of the day.
Margaret.
Oh, unmute, Margaret.
I think you had to wash leeks really carefully first. Open
Yes.
up the screen. Yes?
Yes. Because if you ever cut a leek, ours is here, so you'll see the dirt on it and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you can peel the tops off if you would like to. I always cut them off because I'm kind of I love handling a big knife, but if I chop the top off and cut the bottoms off, you'll see that it'll be a little bit of dirt. I found the slug earlier, which is always great. So, but as I'm doing that, I am gonna rinse my leeks, and I have
You gonna throw the slug in for protein?
No, not today. I did rehome it. So once I start prepping my leeks, I'm gonna just cut them into little circles, and I try to make sure that I'm making even cuts because sometimes I'm not always consistent. You'll see when I start chopping my potatoes, but with the leeks, I want to be consistent. I want them to kind of not be really chunky, but also have the same size. And I'm just, keeping it very simple when it comes to chopping, watching out for my fingers, cutting really slow. There's no rush. So that's the first thing that we're gonna do is prep our leek. I love leeks. Was this everybody's first time cooking with the leek before, or are there any pros out there?
I'm
Okay,
getting some yes nods.
so yeah.
You're muted, Daniel. Daniel, you have to unmute.
Unmute. Okay, there we go. So no, we use Leeks.
Cool.
You use leeks all the time?
Where's the leek?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a bag full.
It's all the greens you use in the.
And Jamar, Mary asked, is that all the green you use in any leek preparation?
Okay.
Oh, no, you can use as much as you would like to. It was just flowering out. So I thought it was gonna be a little bit too much in there. But we also, even though this is a soup, we also wanna make sure that it's delicate as well. So I was just kind of sticking with, because avocado. So as you see, mine has green in there as well. It's a mixture. It's not just the white part of the leeks.
Yeah, good question, Mary.
And I use like 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, it's this big thing. It's just like fennel. It's like, if you are not familiar with cooking with fennel, it's like, wait, this is intimidating. How do I even use this? But I love leeks. I love leeks. I love shallots, and I love onions. Any type of onion.
Go ahead, Margaret.
How thin are you slicing it? Like a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 of an inch?
Maybe a 1/4 inch. So you see,
Okay.
yeah, not too thin. Just a little chunky. Any
Give it a little
questions?
chunk.
Just a little chunky.
You like it a little chunky.
Yes.
Like a peanut butter.
And then once I have my leeks prepped, the next thing that I'm gonna prep is my garlic. So the recipe calls for 4 cloves of garlic. I think I'm using 8. I'm not even gonna tell you, but I'm using a lot.
He's doubling up for the crew.
Well, and one of the things, I love garlic. I love garlic in soup. And so that's just not a lot, right? No?
One sec, Jamar. Steve and Linda asked if we could make Jamar's screen bigger. You guys can switch to speaker view. Do you know how to do that?
On the top right-hand corner of your
Yeah,
screen.
top right-hand corner, you should be able to switch to speaker view. Do you guys see that, Joanne? Oh, got it. Great. Thanks. All right, Jamar, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's a perfect question. It's like, how do these little, I think, yeah.
And just to remind everybody, you control your view. We don't. So you decide whether you're in speaker or gallery view. We can't control that.
Okay, so when I peel my garlic, I'm peeling my garlic, I'm putting my scraps over there, the skins and things like that. Now I have like the garlic pulled, and it's like, well, how fine do we want it? I love chunky soups. So I'm doing a rough chop, but I'm doing like a rough chop and
Alan,
then
we need Jamar's video. There we go.
I'm doing a rough chop and then some on my garlic.
Click to the left and
I'm not doing a dice, but I don't want it to be really huge chunks of garlic in there. I want garlic to be all throughout my soup. So
And Peggy's very happy to see you cooking, Jamar.
Huh?
Peggy's very happy to see you cooking.
As
As we all are, of course.
You know what? This is exciting because sometimes I go through these periods of not cooking, and my dad kind of takes over the kitchen for a couple of weeks, and then he's like, you're not that busy. when are you gonna cook dinner?
Get in there.
Right? He's like, when are you? I'm like, oh, Sunday. I got really used to him cooking on Sundays because like I'm off, and he's like, yeah, I'm not cooking Sunday dinner every Sunday. It's your turn, but I've already purchased what I want you to cook. So that makes it a lot simpler. I'm like, thanks for telling me, you know. So with my garlic, and you can kind of see on my cutting board, avocado, you can kind of see on the cutting board where how small I have it.
Is there a question, Margaret?
Well, garlic, I couldn't get it in.
Yeah, should we have more than 4 cloves of garlic? Jamar said he had 8, right?
Well,
No, you shouldn't.
you can do 4 cloves. Well, it really depends on how much garlic you like. I am cooking for multiple people, so my recipes are always doubled. But even if I was cooking for myself, 4 is comfortable. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can add a couple too. You can add 2 more. You know, it makes it really fun. So, okay, let me, you know,
Good job, Margaret.
I have garlic fingers. So, is everybody?
Don't rub your eyes.
Are everybody to the place where they have their leeks chopped and they have the garlic pressed?
Garlic press.
Prepped.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So,
And Jamar, Joanne had a good question, which I thought we might have to bring up. She asked why you keep saying avocados. Joanne, that's just a code word for the cameraman to switch camera views. Alan,
It's a little joke.
yeah,
so if you hear, there are no avocados, right, Jamar, in the
Yes,
recipe,
no.
right?
there's no avocados in the recipe. It's just how we communicate. So that way I'm not saying, hey, look at, you know. It's
But
just,
good question, Joanne. Nobody needs avocados. That's just code word for switch the angle.
right, and I tried to kind of work it in so nobody would notice that I said that. Hi, Rich.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you just join?
Did you turn the mute on?
No, you talk.
You see a Rich?
Yeah. It's Laura's name.
Oh, okay. Hey, Rich.
Is everybody to a good point where we can go ahead and start sauteing our leeks?
I'm getting yes nods. Looks like we're good.
Okay. So don't put the leeks in the pan yet.
Okay.
There's an important step. So remember, we always talk about like how to build a base when it comes to soups or rices or quinoas and all of those things. Here's what we're about to do. So in the pot, I'm gonna crank mine up a little bit. In the pot, I'm gonna put a drizzle of olive oil. Now you can do like a cup. It'll be like a couple of tablespoons. You just want to cover the bottom of the pot.
Okay.
And the recipe calls for rosemary and thyme, a tablespoon of each. So what we're doing is waking up our seasonings. So we're gonna toast those first. And I put a tablespoon of rosemary, a tablespoon of thyme. And my pot is gonna be waking up soon.
How much of the spices? A tablespoon of thyme.
Yeah, a
and then-
tablespoon of thyme and rosemary.
Yeah, 1 tablespoon each.
And so that's the only thing that I have in my pot with the olive oil. I just want to like toast those so they can wake up a little bit, and then I'll start adding my leeks. And I'll after the leeks, I'll add the garlic. If you put garlic in a hot pan, garlic burns really quickly, and I want to just keep the integrity of the garlic still there, still intact.
It's awesome. We got a lot of people cooking along tonight.
Mute. There you go. Okay.
So we're talking about fresh or dry thyme?
Dry thyme. But if you have fresh, did you end up getting fresh thyme?
Yes. We
Okay.
have,
Okay, not a problem. So the recipe calls for like, so if you were to, and this is fresh thyme right here as well. So if you wanted to, you can do maybe like a tablespoon and a half of fresh thyme.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right,
It's gonna be
great. All right,
tiny.
good.
Perfect. Good question. And Ants was asking, wait, I got a couple questions here for you, Jamar. Ans was asking what temperature for waking up the spices, high, medium, or low?
So let's start with a medium heat.
So medium heat for waking up the spices. And then Mark asked, is the pot, Mark asked the same thing.
Okay?
It's on medium or low. So medium heat, right, Jamar?
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll start smelling as the spices wake up. You'll start smelling the aromas. You'll be like, oh. Everybody will be like, well, what's for dinner? I'm hungry.
Oh, delicious, delicious.
That waking up the spices, Jamar,
Yeah.
is like if you do watercolor, you dribble a little drop of water on watercolors, and that's called waking them up too.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Fun fact of the night.
Awesome.
Okay.
We're all about learning here.
So now my spices are at a good place where I'm starting to see a little bit of bubbling at the bottom, and that's like, okay, I don't want to burn them. I just want to wake them up a little bit. So if I start seeing my bubbles, and you'll start seeing the seasonings kind of move around a little bit in the bottom of the pan. Now I'm gonna add my leeks. You want to show them?
I don't know.
So you see they're like floating around and moving. That's because the pan is getting even hotter.
Okay. All right.
Now I'm gonna pour my leeks over.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay, so you put the stuff in.
yes, but not yet. I
Put
want
the
it to be
thing in.
hot. Needs to be a little hotter. I have a lot of leeks.
A heck of a lot. Are you waking these up? Wake up, Herbs.
Wake up, Bruce.
I was gonna mute him, but that was classic.
That was classic. I think that's
That could be the viral thing.
I think Daniel knew what he was talking about.
So I'm gonna let my leek saute.
Fine. You scoop
And
mine.
so I've already prepped my garlic. And let's go ahead and start we're gonna keep our eyes on them, but let's start looking at what prepping for our mushrooms look like as well.
So Jamar, do you still have that pot at medium heat?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, a medium heat? Okay, medium. heat.
Yep.
And we're gonna saute our leeks.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't that smell so good?
It does.
Oh man, jealous.
Smell good.
So Jamal, if this
Yeah.
goes viral, do we make money on this? Is that it's gonna be like
It all gets poured back into the community.
Yep. This is a community event. Can't take any money.
oh man, I wish I'd have known that. I'd have known, yeah.
Hey. But what it will make is great television.
Yes.
Okay, does Jamar have all of his leeks in the pot right now?
Yeah. I have all of my leeks in the pot.
Yep. We're
So what
sauteing
I'm
all the
doing-
leeks right now.
I'm browning my leeks, and I have not added my garlic yet.
Okay.
Cool.
And once y'all start doing that, let me know how your kitchen smells.
Oh, I think people are already saying it smells really good.
Smells very tiny.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
Put about 6 tablespoons of fresh thyme in it.
No wonder.
So I'm letting my leeks brown. When we were talking about the mushrooms, right? So we're just gonna let them hang out for a little bit. We already have our garlic just waiting till our leeks brown. So now that gives us a little bit more time to kind of look at what our mushrooms gonna look like. So I have Cremini mushrooms, and I've already sliced mine. I sliced a whole bunch, but I'm gonna show you how I sliced mine, and then the recipe called for to have a frying pan. I have my trusty cast iron pan here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sweat the mushrooms first. So no oil in the pan, in the mushroom pan, because you want to at least release all of the moisture out of the, oh, that was very country of me. Well,
Moisture?
all of the moisture.
Oh, what happened?
Whoa,
You
that
taking
just
us back
comes-
to Georgia?
it just comes out. But you want to make sure all the moisture comes out of the mushroom first. So what I did was I just sliced my mushrooms, and I made all of the mushrooms kind of consistent. And it looks like a lot, but it's gonna always cook down. So
Did you slice them pretty thin there, Jamar, the mushrooms?
mhm.
Okay.
So like how I slice mine is I slice them like a moon. So like I start from this side, slicing, and I just
Okay.
even stride. So, and the thickness is right around here. So,
Cool, thanks.
but the thing about it is, it's your recipe, so you get to make them. Some folks like, well, I like my mushrooms to be a little bit thicker.
Sure.
Jamar, when you say to sweat the mushrooms, how hot is the pan that you put them?
You can do a medium. Let's do a medium heat. You don't want it up too high but you're gonna see the moisture. Oh
Okay.
my God, the moisture comes.
Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wash your mushrooms and how you do that before you cut them up.
Oh, good question. Jamar?
Okay, what was the question?
She asked you if you washed your mushrooms beforehand, and if so, how you did it.
So the thing about you can you can wash it. This is the thing. So because and that's why sweating is involved, because like when you wash your mushrooms, they're gonna soak up even more water. So once you wash them, you can kind of dap them with some paper towel or something to kind of get the moisture out, but you're still gonna have to sweat them because all that water just went over it. So yeah.
And Mallory wanted to know how many mushrooms or how much, Jamar.
So the mushroom, and I'm sorry about that, Mallory. So the mushroom is gonna be 5 to 6. 5 to 6 mushrooms. 5 to 6 goes a long way. I have about maybe 10.
Go ahead, Margaret.
I wanted to share my method for washing mushrooms.
Absolutely.
We don't use paper towels, but we do use toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I use a piece of toilet paper and just wipe the dirt off, because usually mushrooms are not that dirty. So, and then once you get dirt on a piece of the toilet paper, you have more toilet paper to use.
Interesting. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Never know what you're going to learn here.
My glasses just popped up.
Yeah, it looks a little steamy.
So how,
Arguments with people about washing or not washing mushrooms. So it's just nice to hear what other people do.
what do you do, Cheyenne?
I think it depends. Like sometimes if they look kind of dirty or funky, I will wash them. But then my husband, of course, is like, no, now they're all sopping wet and soggy and gross. So.
Yeah.
And I have a little brush for mushrooms, so sometimes I use that, which is preferable.
Yeah. It is one of those things. For me, it's like, just depends. Just depends. On some of them, like chanterelles, I love those. Yeah.
Wild mushrooms you don't want to. They're usually already soaked.
Yeah.
I've been yellow feet winter chanterelles have been coming
Mm-hmm.
in, and they were just really damp. So I leave them in a paper bag in the fridge for a week to dry them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Laura asked, are we cooking the mushrooms now? And if so, what temperature?
So we're gonna do them at a medium heat. I have a frying pan over here that I'm going to add them to my mushroom. Okay. I want to add my mushrooms to my pan. That's a lot of mushrooms.
And nothing no oil in the pan, Laura.
No oil in the pan, because what you're doing is sweating the mushroom.
Right.
So I'm just gonna let mine hang out right there.
Sweating.
Our mushrooms aren't sweating.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So mushrooms aren't sweating.
No, I think we should have used a bigger pan.
And Joanne asked, how long do we cook them?
So what you're gonna do is, okay, so so did you just put them in there?
Yeah,
Okay, give it a little bit of time.
okay.
Yeah, give it a little bit of time. My mushrooms sweat for like I forget about them. You know, that's the thing. I forget about them. So if y'all are cooking along with me, I'll remind you, but let's start with just 20 minutes because you want to make sure like they completely, yeah, there's no moisture. And then once there's no moisture, they turn really golden and really delicious and all of that good stuff. So
And Cheyenne has probably what's going to be my favorite question of the night. And what does a sweaty mushroom look like?
hey, you have to sweat them first.
I was going to say, Jamar, I mean, the mushrooms aren't sweating, but I am. I'm just worried.
In the midst of a busy week, I needed this. So my leeks, so I have my mushrooms over here. They're hanging out. I have my leeks and sauteing. They're browning. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my garlic.
Adding garlic.
Yeah.
I feel like we need Richard Simmons sweating to the oldies playing in the background or something. For those of you that remember him.
So now I have my garlic in my mush, and I'm gonna let those continue browning.
This one?
Nice.
And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper, just a sprinkle. I was putting a sprinkle. And I'm gonna do the same thing with pepper as well.
Wait, I'm behind.
And I'm just gonna let those hang out for a little bit. And what we're doing is, so.
I don't know why, but Joanne said just have more wine. I like that.
Yes.
So mine, I crowded my pan and my onions, not my onions, but my mushrooms are starting to sweat, so. Yeah, so. Now the potatoes. How's everybody doing? Am I cooking? Are we doing good? Okay. Anybody stand? No, there's no chef left behind. So before we start going any further, how is everybody feeling?
Everybody doing good? Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay. Okay.
Looks good. All right. I think we're doing good.
Oh, I think
Awesome.
I don't
Thanks,
know
Mary.
what I'm more excited about, mushrooms. I love mushrooms. And then I also love leeks. There's something about leeks, garlic, onions, garlic. They're all my favorite. So, okay, now we were talking about how not being so precise with the potatoes. I'm weird, so I don't like really thick potatoes in this soup. And I tried it a couple times. So what I did was I prepped my potatoes differently. So some of them look like crescent moons. Oh, avocado. Some of them look like crescent moons, like this, like your typical. And I made them even because it's Thursday. I don't want to be in the kitchen for hours and hours and hours. So if you cut them, if you cut them thin enough and not too thin, technical difficulty. If you cut them at a good size, they won't take forever to cook. So that is always my thing because I'm like, okay, I'm only giving this an hour and 30.
And how many potatoes do our cooks need?
So the potatoes are going to be 4 to 5.
4 to 5.
Yeah. So are your
Good question, Laura.
sweating? Are they starting to sweat?
I think some are.
Okay. You can look at mine and see how they are. So you see.
Go ahead, Mary. Did you have a question?
Yeah, are we peeling the potatoes?
Are we pulling the potatoes? No, we're not. Because
Okay.
they're yellow potatoes. So
Yeah.
I just washed them and started prepping them. But you'll see like how the mushrooms look. They're not sauteing. There's like bubbles in the bottom of it from all the moisture that's
Oh, yeah.
so. And I'm gonna move my leeks around.
All right.
Yeah,
Would you ask if this is gonna be blended in the end or not?
okay.
Joanne said Steve is using their mandolin to slice the potatoes. Awesome.
Okay. So
Jamal, can I ask a question?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we gonna blend this in the end? Is this gonna be blended?
No.
No.
But
Okay.
if you would like to, you can. I am so I love to see my stuff in my I love blended like my tomato basil has to be blended and my pumpkin purees and all of those things have to be blended. I just chose like, you know what, let's keep it simple. And with the community cooking, it's a lot more accessible for folks that may not have a blender or a food processor in their kitchen as well. So that's kind of why we think, but if you would like to incorporate that, you absolutely can.
Great.
What are you sauteing the leeks in right now?
So I'm sauteing the leeks in a pot. I'm gonna add some more. I might as well just use all of these.
In oil?
So I'm sauteing the leeks in oil. So if you just are joining in the pot where I'm sauteing the leeks, I added olive oil to cover the bottom of the pot. Then I added a tablespoon of thyme and a tablespoon of rosemary. I toasted those a little bit, and then I added my leeks on top of that. Yes. And
Good to
then
see you, Linda.
yes, good seeing you.
You too.
Okay, so
Oh, wait, Margaret's got a question. Hold on.
Jamar, I wanted to let you know that I got my immersion blender at Goodwill for $5.
really,
Yes.
that's awesome.
So much better than like a blender because you just stick the thing right.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you use a blender and your stuff is hot, it's just a recipe for disaster. Sometimes I take the easy way out and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna cool these beets, when I'm making beet hummus or whatever. But yeah, I pay for it.
Do you have the potatoes in with the leeks now?
No, not yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the leeks out because I think they're at the perfect time. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour my potatoes in my pot.
Okay. So
Let's do that. So at this point, I am putting my leeks in a bowl and putting them to the side.
Your leeks and garlic, right?
Yes. That I'm not scraping the bottom of the pan because I'm gonna now pour my potatoes in there, and they're gonna toast up before I even add any liquid to it.
you didn't put any oil in.
No.
No.
I think I'm gonna cut my finger off.
Everybody's mushrooms looking.
Good.
Mhm. So after, you'll see them sweat, but once you put all of the moisture out of the pan, then it starts to toast. And only thing we're gonna sprinkle is a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and just let them just do their job.
Now the mushrooms go in a different pan?
Yes, we're
Okay.
putting those on the side. Because they're mushrooms and they just deserve their own little, their own little situation on the.
What am I doing with the mushrooms to just saute them in olive oil?
Nope,
No.
you don't have to put them in olive oil. What you're gonna do is you're gonna sweat your mushrooms. So if you slice them and then just put them in your pan, you're gonna see moisture come out of the mushroom. And then once the moisture cooks all the way out, then you'll start seeing them toast.
Okay. So everything prepared.
Okay.
Don't leave me wide late.
Hey, no problem, no problem.
You're fine.
I saw Jamar sprinkle something in with the potatoes. What was that?
Oh, no, that was me sprinkling a little salt and pepper on the mushroom. I haven't sprinkled anything in the potatoes, but what I am gonna do is, so we're not cooking the potatoes in water. You can if you would like to. I decided to boil them in low sodium veggie broth.
Mm.
And so one of the 2 cups of veggie stock.
Oh, veggie stock. Oh, wow. Okay.
I have that, yeah.
4 cups.
4 cups? Okay, go ahead. Here we go.
Okay, 4 cups. I only have 2.
I just wanted to say,
Oh, do you have more?
Yeah. I have
Okay.
more.
Go ahead and use the whole, go ahead and, yeah, because you want the liquid to cover you want the liquid to cover the, oh my gosh, the potato.
Okay.
So, I'm like, what am I saying?
Jamar, I'm having a
So
lot of fun. This is
those
fun.
potatoes go in the pot that the leeks would come out of.
Yeah, yeah.
You got it, Linda.
This is nothing but fun here. We're having fun. We're making
So,
a
you
mess.
said you were at a loss?
So, Jamar, we want you to come over and, clean up the kitchen after we all mind.
Hey, I will. Just set me up a seat at the table.
Yeah, there you go.
My mother said that if you want to eat, you have to love to cook and clean.
Oh, no. Oh,
That's a must.
well, that's the cool thing about it is if you clean as you go, by once you finish, you won't end up with so many dishes, right? So there's rest periods in recipes where we are like slowing down. I'm moving this over here, and that is what we do. So, and in that meantime, you can kind of clean up your area if you destroy your kitchen sometimes, like I do.
Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Hey, Cheyenne.
I was just gonna say, can you say that again for my husband? The clean as you cook.
Yeah, clean as you cook. Or, I mean, yeah.
I have that problem too.
Linda can relate.
So, what we're gonna do is,
Jamar, real quick, Joelle wanted to know, is the stock in with the potatoes now? And how
Yes.
much? Was it 4
Yes.
cups?
yeah, do 4 cups. So, the stock is going in with the potatoes. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna put the lid on that and bring it up to a boil. Hi, Laura.
Go, Laura.
The recipe said 2 cups of stock. Should I ignore that?
Yeah, that's what I did, 2 cups.
Well, is the stock covering the potatoes?
Yeah, mostly.
Oh,
Mostly.
Okay. Cool. That's the thing, because we're boiling them. You just don't want it to boil out. And my apologies. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I did that, but.
Okay.
It smells good in here already.
Does everybody have enough stock for their potatoes?
What? Ooh, what?
Okay. I think we're okay.
We're gonna boil the potatoes. I'm gonna put a 20-minute timer on it. We're boiling them. We're boiling the potatoes with the lid on in the veggie stock. So no water.
Okay. Margaret wants me to tell everyone that we make our own vegetable stock here at home.
Awesome.
Yeah, I make it myself. So you want the recipe? Yeah,
Ask Jamar.
ask Jamar. Here, yeah.
Go offs.
Right.
So the leeks, the green of the leeks are going in our freezer. 'Cause Daniel pulls all the leftover stuff out of our freezer to make the. And
That's
add
awesome.
Hi, did you just call me? What's up?
We're good.
So I'm putting my stuff here.
It's a circus. We haven't been doing this for a while.
Hey, it's actually, I'm having a ball.
Yeah, we got a good crowd tonight.
Okay. So my mushrooms are still going. I have my potatoes boiling. I got a 20-minute timer on it, so I'll be keeping track for everybody.
Awesome.
And the thing is, you don't want your potatoes to cook all the way down, because you still want them to resemble the potato, because sometimes if you cook it down, it kind of like falls apart. You still want, when you put it in your bowl, you still want to be able to taste, I'm eating a potato, I'm eating my leek, and things like that. That's why we're not blending it.
Cool. Gives you something to chew on.
Yes. I'll move it over here.
My husband just called. He wants to know when the soup is going to be ready.
Nice.
Spoiled rotten.
Wait, I think Peggy had a question. She said, I cook vegan and am thinking cashew cream or yogurt might sub for cream.
Absolutely.
Good thinking, Peggy.
What's that?
Oh, and coconut cream. Yeah.
Coconut milk.
Oh, coconut milk. Yeah.
Oh,
Way to make it your own, Peggy.
Yeah, he called.
Well, and I mean, with recipes, when you look at them, you're like, wait, I'm definitely not bringing that into my house. You can always make a recipe your own. And I think that's the cool thing. That's why we only list the ingredients, because some stuff is going to take a little bit, I never follow a recipe. That's why I don't bake. It's something about me that always wants to venture off, so I just don't even deal with it.
Yeah.
And our potatoes
I
are
think you could
thoroughly
do
sliced.
tomorrow where you bake. That would be pretty fun for us, I think.
Huh?
Can we do a baking one? That might be really entertaining to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bake it like quick bread and stuff, but yeah, not like where Laura made amazing English muffins.
Oh,
And
Jamar, Joanne
Go
wanted to know if our potatoes are thinly sliced, should we cook them less than 20 minutes?
Yeah, and I would actually, like, if you have a fork or if you have your spoon in which if you press it to the side and your spoon kind of cuts it, then they're ready, so you can put them to the side.
Cool.
And I had a rest period, and I have like moved stuff around, gotten things. All my dishes go over there, My cutting board is clear somewhat. And my leeks are hanging out.
Ant's asked if we've done anything with the cream yet. We haven't, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, good question.
So the goal is, once the potatoes become, al dente, not fully cooked, because you're still gonna add the cream and you're gonna simmer as well. So once the potatoes are done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding our leeks to the pot. We're gonna start adding our mushrooms to the pot, and then the heavy cream is gonna go in there, and we lid it and cook it down, and then it thickens up.
Speaking of cream substitutes, Joelle said, I'm going to try silken tofu instead of cream.
Oh, now I love tofu. I was eating for lunch, I had tofu pate.
Pate? I don't think I've ever had a tofu
Never had
pate.
yet. Yeah, it's delicious.
Nice.
I'm using lactose-free milk because my husband has lactose problem.
Mhm.
And I'm adding flour to that and mixing that. So
Oh,
it'll give it
cool.
some body.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
It's fun to see how everybody does some different dairy somehow.
Yeah,
It's good.
I love having options.
totally.
That's what I take from there. Oh, I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's al dente. I had a friend named al dente once. He's Italian.
I bet you gave him a hard time about it too, didn't you, Daniel?
Continually about pasta mostly.
Yeah. Only
So
imagine.
while we have our potatoes boiling, our mushrooms are sauteing. I have mine on a lower heat because they're like almost at that point. Yeah, they're gonna be just right. So question. Does anyone have any favorite soups that they can remember from their childhood?
Yeah, Campbell's tomato.
Campbell's tomato. Did you eat a grilled cheese with it?
Grilled cheese, of course. Are you kidding?
That it's like it's like it goes hand in hand. You know, it goes hand in hand. Anyone else?
I always loved the Campbell's chicken noodle as a kid. Minestrone, yeah, that was a good one. Joelle added minestrone.
Oh yeah.
Split pea.
What was the?
Split pea with a ham hock in it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ooh,
Question about our potatoes are ready. We dump the leeks in and then we dump the mushrooms in?
Yeah,
And do we turn down the heat a little bit so it's like?
yeah. I would turn on the heat. Your potatoes are ready.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are
Laura
good.
said it's a potato soup or chicken chili my mom makes. Yum.
Whoa.
Ann said when he was in 3rd grade, he ate Campbell's stew for breakfast every day. Awesome. You know, I've been craving soup for breakfast. Thanks for making me not feel weird, Ann.
Hey, don't go putting breakfast in a box.
No, never.
Yeah, no.
Joanne said French onion with lots of croutons and cheese. Mary added my mother's bean soup. I do dairy, but would prefer a less rich substitute. If I use lower fat milk as a substitute, what can I add to maintain richness? Oh, good question.
Oh.
Well, didn't Linda say she added flour?
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda uses flour she adds to her lactose-free milk.
Well, and flour just acts as a thickening agent as well. You know, I
And-
mean.
Cheyenne wants to know if your mushies look shriveled.
Yes. So you start out with a whole bunch and then it goes, you know. So that's why I always over aim. I do that with everything.
You can also use a little cornstarch.
Mm-hmm.
That will also thicken things up.
Oh, good. Thanks, Linda.
Want to.
So many options.
I did whole soup last week as a trial, so that I knew when I got to this class, everything would be ready. And so last week I did the whole recipe.
Awesome.
It was a big hit. So husband is like, I can't wait to have it again.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, nice. Joanne said sour cream maybe, and Mallory said her mushies are looking a hot mess, Cheyenne.
They're like breaking apart. They're still, yeah. We got like 11 minutes, but it's not gonna take 20 minutes. How everybody's, oh, I'm seeing mushrooms, folks showing their mushrooms. Are you tasting your mushrooms? Has anybody tasted any of their stuff yet? Yes. It's like when mushrooms get sauteed, you cannot just have one. I'm eating them.
I see people snacking.
Uh-huh.
They taste so buttery. They taste buttery and there's no butter or oil in them.
It's crazy.
And I kept mine firm because I like to see the mushroom and bite into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't cook mine as long, Jamar.
That's all right. Make it your own.
It's not
Joanne said they
usually-
go great with wine.
it's
You have a
not
wine
usually butter.
connoisseur.
It's hard not to have that with my mushrooms, but they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Do they need a little salt, pepper?
Yeah.
Okay. It's okay to add a little bit more. That's the whole thing. So like I'm always tasting my food when I'm cooking because, you know, but then there's some stuff that I've done a couple times where it's like, I do it the same way every time and it tastes the same way every time. What do we do if our potatoes are already done? Okay, pull them to the side. And what you can do is, because you already have your leeks done, you can go ahead and add your leeks to the pot. You can go ahead and start adding your mushrooms to the pot. And then once we get there, we're gonna just pause for a second, okay? I think my potatoes, so I got 9 minutes on my potatoes. I think they're ready.
Cool. How's everybody doing?
Mine are still gotta go a little.
Okay? Yeah, I think mine are ready. I'm gonna bring them over here. And what I'm gonna start doing is incorporating, let me cut take the lid off because when you have the lid on, it just keeps cooking. So now I'm gonna Go ahead and add my leeks.
Adding those to the potatoes.
You want to catch this?
Yeah. Change it.
Add my leeks. And they just like took over my pot.
What you got going for heat? Medium?
Yeah,
Medium heat? Okay.
so. You see, so I've kind of moved it around a little bit. Now I'm gonna add my mushrooms. My
Yeah, it's gonna be a hearty soup.
It's a beautiful soup. Okay, I'm adding my leeks.
Mm. Oh my gosh. Okay. Gotta get a little bit in the bottom.
Wow, those are best.
those are the best. I'm gonna put this over here. So now I'm gonna just incorporate everything. And now I'm gonna pour my heavy whipping cream over.
So now you have everything in there, Jamar, and you're adding the cream, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How much cream?
I use the whole pint.
1 pint. Laura likes that.
I'm like, is that and then some. So once we pour it in there, I'm gonna give it a stir.
Mm.
I'm gonna put my lid on, and I'm just gonna crank up the heat a little bit because I just wanted to simmer it. Mm.
Yum.
And here you can, like, after it heats up, you can kind of start tasting it to say, okay, it needs a little bit of salt, it needs a little bit of pepper. It may just need a little bit more time, or, and things like that. And I do have the smoked paprika because I love smoked paprika, but I'm using smoked paprika as a garnish on top.
You'll find there's very little that Jamar doesn't use smoked paprika in.
Hey, try it on avocado toast.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jamar, how much smoked paprika was in your recipe?
So it's just going as a garnish. So you're just sprinkling a little bit on top.
But we don't put it in the pot.
No, you don't put it in the pot. It's just going. It's because it'll probably change the color of the pot. But once you start plating and once you start boiling your soup up, then you'll sprinkle it on top.
Cool. Good question.
So the reason why we do that is because whoever's sitting at your table, even if it's just you by yourself, you want to eat with your eyes. You want a person to be full without even taking a bite. So that is always the goal. I'm gonna stir mine around. And you'll start seeing that the richness of the heavy cream and all of that stuff just starts becoming one. Oh my gosh.
It's looking good.
You doing okay, Alan?
Yeah.
Right?
I'm trying not to faint. No.
And you'll see the thyme and the rosemary come alive in the pot. It's all throughout it.
Oh, Steve said Joanne has him on KP. Laura said, OMG, it's so good. Awesome. Can't beat a hearty potato leek soup.
And so, say for instance, if you had an immersion blender, you can blend this as well. And the thing what I love about soup is that it only gets better. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So tomorrow, after everything is just kind of settled in it, it's like, oh.
Oh yeah, yum.
Oh, this tastes better tomorrow, right? After.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
More time to marry.
The gift that keeps giving.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, Jamie. Jamie's on there. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
You didn't hear her giving Daniel a hard time earlier?
That was us.
Hey, Dana.
Hello. Okay.
Hi,
Hi, Dana.
Hey, Dana. Where's Dana?
Yep, that's Dana with a beard.
Where are your sunglasses? I don't recognize.
I think he's going to get them.
He always has his sunglasses on.
Uh-huh.
Those white ones. There they are.
Oh,
Thanks. Now everybody recognizes you.
we know who you are. Yeah. That's right.
So how's everybody's soup doing? How are they feeling?
Ooh.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, lots of thumbs up.
Okay. And you're tasting it?
Yep.
The mushrooms give it such a nice flavor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mushrooms give anything a nice flavor, but in this absolutely.
Yep. Jen gave a thumbs up. Oh, before everybody signs off, please take pictures. Please take pictures of your finished product and email them to me. You all have my email in your Zoom confirmation. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
I just wanted to see, for those people who used other milks, what you guys thought. I did coconut milk and it's very good. It's very rich, not coconut cream, just coconut milk.
Mm-hmm.
Loving it. So I wanted to see what people thought of their other options.
Linda, have you tasted your lactose-free one yet?
Excellent. It's excellent. And it's thickening up very nicely. Yeah.
And Cheyenne, she used a lactose milk with a little flour.
Okay.
Anybody else? Oh, who was using, oh, you were using the silken tofu, right, Cheyenne?
No, I did coconut milk.
Oh, who was that?
So well,
Oh, Joelle.
Jessica, how is your soup turning out?
Have we tasted, Joelle?
It's good.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Jessica said it's good. Thank you.
Oh. So the heavy cream,
Joelle said it needs something.
it needs something.
Paprika?
Sprinkles it.
Or garlic. More garlic. More garlic, more mushrooms, more love. And so the smoked paprika is gonna be the garnish that goes on top of your dish.
Right.
Not this, it's a creamy soup.
Yeah. Joelle said salt and pepper. Oh yeah, you could always add a little more
Yeah,
salt. and pepper.
absolutely, absolutely.
Jamar, what about a little squeeze of lemon? We put a little squeeze of lemon on a lot of our soups.
Okay, try it.
And I don't want to.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say, be careful with that.
keep it simple.
Yeah.
And Jamie said, "Thank you, so tasty."
Yeah, keep it simple. It's, I mean,
And
like
of
when I
course,
was,
Joanne said it needs more wine.
when Margaret, when I was gathering the things, I was like, wow, like this is like the simplest I've ever done. But you know what? Just keep it simple.
Okay,
And Joanne, I think we know who really needs the wine.
creamy.
Yeah.
Have you tasted yours, Margaret?
Yeah, it needed more salt and I
Okay.
haven't tasted it second time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Okay.
So we put the cream in. I'm not going to be able to eat all this soup tonight.
Of
Okay.
course.
So if I put it in the refrigerator, is it going to curdle or separate?
Nope. It's gonna be
Okay.
even more delicious.
Thank you.
It's gonna marinate.
You're welcome.
It's probably gonna be really awesome tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
You can put a lemon on yours, but I don't put lemon on mine.
Okay, so I'm gonna start plating mine, right? And I would love some photos, please,
Yes, send us your photos.
and some selfies.
Send us photos to make everybody who didn't show up jealous when we post them later.
Absolutely. Okay.
Do we have a number?
Oh, I have his email. If you send it to
Yeah, everybody has my email in their Zoom confirmation they used to join tonight. Joelle
Oh,
said, thank you, Jamar.
hey, thank y'all.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Yes. We haven't eaten it yet, though.
So I'm gonna, cause it has to be picture ready, so I have to clean around the edges.
Of course. Laura said, thank you. Joanne said, see you next month. Yes, feel free to sign off if you guys need to eat. We don't want your soup getting cold.
Oh, it won't. It's probably piping hot right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna put croutons on top.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be cute. I'll just here, go ahead. I have the camera, so go ahead. The camera's covered.
Mary said, I'm starving. Thanks. Thanks, Mary.
Daniel makes our croutons too.
Oh, wow.
nice.
Awesome.
Ooh,
Old bread.
Homemade
Nice.
croutons and veggie stock. That's going to be a good soup, I believe.
I think so.
And Stephen Linda asked, what is the green that Jamar is putting on top of the soup in the bowl?
Oh, so I use some of my thyme as a garnish as well.
Oh, nice.
Which was what?
Oh, it was some thyme.
As a garnish.
What?
I'm gonna take a photo. Stay right there.
Oh, yeah. Get down in there.
All right. I'm getting
Do the same. I'm gonna take a photo.
Okay, and I'm gonna show y'all how mine look, okay?
It's avocado, Joanne said.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, avocado has joined us.
Ooh.
Wait, bring it back, Jamar.
Here's a
Or
close-up.
say something,
There you
Jamar.
go, there you go. Hello.
Ooh,
Hello.
Oh, pretty.
Beautiful.
nice
Yeah.
work. Ann said, see you later, Jamar. Thank you
All
for the
righty.
co-op in the library. Thanks, Ann. It's good seeing you.
We can put ours in the bowl and
Yeah,
then
we
I'll
can
Nice. Oh, man, that looks good.
Hey, thanks, Jamar. We're gonna go eat ours now.
Thank y'all so
Enjoy.
much.
Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome to see so many people cooking along tonight. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank
Great-
you. See you next
Great
month.
crowd, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Jessica. Good to see you again.
Good to
Can't
see
wait to see you
Bye.
next month.
Bye, Joanne.
Thanks, Mark.
That was awesome.
Yes.
It was
Thanks,
awesome.
Jen.
Excellent.
And Karen, if you want to cook along later, we will be posting this on the library's YouTube channel. I'll probably have it up there by Saturday. I could probably get it up tomorrow, but I have a couple videos from today I got to get posted.
I'm going to play mine and take a
Did you have a question, Karen?
Oh, no, I said thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining us.